Shalom. This is Rabbi Buchwald. And I guess after Purim, I need to speak about a sober topic. And I can't think of any more sober topic than dying. As a rabbi, I pay a lot of shiva calls. I perform funerals. And it's not an easy or pleasant task. I think one of the points I need to make is that Judaism is not a religion of pleasure. I think it's more a religion of fulfillment. Fulfillment means that you're doing something good, and you get a good sense out of doing a good deed. And one of the greatest deeds that we could do is burying the dead and comforting the mourners. And it's one of the actions known as gemilut chasadim, rendering kindness, that can be done even after a person is dead, burying the dead. But how do you relate to the survivors? And sometimes they can be very, very bereaved. Well, Judaism has quite an amazing psychological, logistical path that is followed in death. First, there is the very, very deep grieving and mourning. And that's called aninut, where a person has just died. And it's so interesting that when a person dies before the burial, that person is like bereft, cut off, feels that God has abandoned him or her. It's not listened to his prayers. And you know what? That person is not counted to a minyan. If that person is the 10th person to the minyan, you still don't have a minyan. You can't pray. They only come back into the community with the burial. The thump of the earth on the coffin is an acceptance of a sense of reality. And then you have the shiva, the 7 days of mourning. The first 3 days are the most intense. And you know, people don't know this, but the practice is that when you visit a person who's sitting shiva, you don't begin a conversation. You sit there and you wait for the person to begin the conversation because they may not want to speak. And sometimes you can sit for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes you can sit through the whole shiva. And then when you leave, you just say, "May the Almighty comfort you among the mourners of Zion." Then after this shiva is the period of shloshim, which is less intense because you leave the house and you change your garments that have been ripped. But you still don't get haircuts, and of course you don't go to joyous events. If it's for a parent, there's a 12-month mourning period where, again, don't buy new clothes, you don't go to weddings, joyous occasions, but you can get haircuts when your hair gets long. And you say Kaddish for the full 12 months. Well, for actually 11 months. And then after the 11 months, you wait a month, and at the end of the 12th month, you say the Kaddish. So the grieving period is a process. Very, very intense, to less intense, to finishing the process. It's important to be sensitive to people who are grieving and to give them a chance to recover. And that's what the wise system of mourning is in Judaism. I pray that we should know no mourning and that God will wipe away tears from all those who are sad.